Welcome back. This is episode 3 for ATHaynesHouse Yarns. I am Terry Haynes. How you doing? I am glad to be back in front of the camera. It's been a minute since I did a video for good reasons, but I'll talk about that in a little while. But thank you for stopping in to watch this video. To all of those of you who have subscribed, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. And all of you who may be new to the channel, you can hit the subscribe button below, and that way YouTube will tell you when I've uploaded a video. Look at that, modern technology. It's a beautiful thing. So go ahead and subscribe. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at ATHaynesHouseYarns, at .HaynesHouse.yarns. Also on Facebook at ATHaynesHouseYarns, and on Ravelry. We have a Ravelry page, and all of my yarns are uploaded into the database. So if you purchase at ATHaynesHouse Yarns, you can now put it in your project page. Go ahead and do that. That's where you'll find me all over the world, and you'll get some good, interesting things out of me, I think. So let's get right into it and start with Storytime. So, for all the new people visiting this channel and watching this video, Storytime is when I tell you the story about the names of the yarns that will be in the shop. So this shop update will be this Friday, March 15th at 9 o'clock in the morning. So all the colors that I'm going to show you will be available in the shop at that time. And all of the things in previous videos that haven't sold out will be available in the shop too. So let's get to it. So the first colorway is kind of the reason why I haven't done a video in a while, and it is a colorway that is close to my heart and dear to my heart. So most of my colorway names are silly things that me and my family say, or funny things that we do. This one is a little bit more serious, but it's good. So in 2002. In 2002, my mother passed from cancer. A couple of years later, my grandmother passed. I have lost a couple of uncles to cancer. I lost my father-in-law to leukemia. Cancer is not a fun thing for me. At this point, it just makes me angry. So my oldest sister, I can't say recently, it's been a couple of years, has also been diagnosed with cancer, and we have been fighting this cancer battle for a couple of years. I have been back and forth to where she lives in the past couple of weeks, helping her prepare for the next round of the fight, which is a bone marrow transplant, which I said it was good. So we are excited that this is progressing, but all the while when I was going back and forth, I was like, wow, I would really like to do a colorway, but sometimes you don't want to do a colorway with such a heavy topic. And I came home and I started playing, and this colorway just kind of came together. So this is Fight. So Fight is, the green is the ribbon for lymphoma, which is the type of cancer that my sister has. The gray is for the full armor of God. My sister and I are believers, and that is a scripture where it says, put on the whole armor of God. So we put on the armor, and the pink in there is amethyst, which is her birthstone. So this is Fight, and this is on a Haynesville fingering weight yarn. I love it. I really do. I really enjoyed dyeing this. Also in the shop tomorrow, it will be on a worsted base, so you can make your little fight hat or a fight cowl, but this is on a worsted alien base. So both of those are available in the shop. I am going to give a portion of the proceeds for this yarn to my sister to help her fight. If you know somebody who is, here's my soapbox. You know somebody who's fighting an illness or a sickness, it is a long battle. There are many things that you don't consider as an outsider that really is crucial to the process. So even if you don't buy the yarn, find somebody who's struggling and help them out. You have no idea how much and how meaningful that will be for them. So here's Fight. Go buy it all. So the next couple of colorways, onto a lighter subject, I guess I can say, are named after my husband. So he's gotten in his mind that I am now his personal indie yarn dyer. I'm gonna make him come on these videos, trust me. One day he's gonna show his face. But he feels like now I can't be mad because he's my personal bag person. Like, he's gonna sew me some bags because he can. So he has been saying, oh well, when I want to make something, I'm just gonna come to you and tell you what color I want. So the next three are kind of things that were inspired by him. So the first one, in our community, we put handles on people's names. So we don't, for those who aren't familiar with that, we don't call adults by their first name. Like, I'm grown and there's still some adults I will not call by their first name. I just ingrained for years, you put a handle on it. So when kids come into our family, we are Aunt Terry and Uncle Brian. It doesn't matter if they are our nieces and nephews. We're still Aunt Terry and Uncle Brian, just as to give them something to call us, and not Mr. and Mrs. That sounds so formal. So everybody loves, though, Uncle Brian. And the weird thing is, the kids know I live here, but they go to Uncle Brian's house. They don't go to Aunt Terry and Uncle Brian's house. They go to Uncle Brian's house. So this first colorway for him is called Uncle Brian. It's on a 5 deep rustic fingering. It's a bluey purpley. This is a color he wears a lot too. He really likes to wear this shade of blue. And everybody loves Uncle Brian. So there is Uncle Brian, and it'll be in the shop. The next colorway is from a vehicle that Uncle Brian had. My husband used to own a Honda Ridgeline, which we all loved. I didn't realize how much I loved trucks until he bought that truck. Although, I don't know, like, I guess truck enthusiasts will probably say that wasn't really a pickup truck. It was, but it was more like, it rode like a sedan. Loved that truck. Well, unfortunately, the truck got into a car accident and got totaled. None of us were happy. But we used to call the truck the Silver Bullet. So here is Silver Bullet on Haynesville sock. It's a very faint gray. You can see that. And it will be available in the shop tomorrow. And the last colorway for my husband comes from when he was deployed. So he got deployed, I feel like it was 2011, 2010, 2011. And one of the things that I don't feel like spouses or military people talk about a lot is the reentry. You know, you prepare for them to go, you prepare the house to run smoothly while they're not there, you FaceTime, you Skype, you do whatever it is to stay close, but then when they come back, you're like, who in the world are you? So that was like a real thing, because when you're in a relationship with somebody and they grow, you see it happen in increments. You see it day to day, and you don't think of that as being a big change because you watched in such. It's like when you see other people's kids after a while, like that you haven't seen in a while, and you're like, oh my gosh, that kid is. Turn your phone off, Terry. Okay, so the next colorway for my husband is from when he was deployed in Afghanistan. Wait, I gotta do something. So the next colorway that comes from my husband is from when he was deployed in Afghanistan. So we prepared for him to be deployed, and one of the things I don't think that military families kind of calculate well is the reentry. We're prepared to go, we're prepared to survive without our service member, but sometimes we forget that when they come back, they're going to be a different person. So that re-entry sometimes is a little interesting. So when he came back, there were words that he couldn't say in English anymore. So before he left, he had to learn Dari, and we thought that was the coolest thing ever. But when he came back, he was immersed in the language, and there was a word that he just couldn't say in English. We didn't do, and we still to this day don't know why, and it was squash. For some reason, for some reason he could not say squash. So the Dari word for squash is Kaddu. So he would say, I need to get Kaddu, and we're like, we don't know what that is. And so he's like, the orange thing looks like a zucchini, and we're like, squash? So he couldn't say squash. So this is Kaddu Not Squash. So this is on 5 Deep Rustic Fingering. It will be in the shop. I love it. I love the way it glows. It has a little glow to it. So this is Kaddu Not Squash. The next two colorways are just my random musings sometimes about things. So recently I'm in Maryland, and I think we've turned the corner to spring already. We've got a couple of 70-degree days lined up here at the middle of March. And I just realized, I just kept thinking how much I hate spring. I hate spring. I hate spring. I have allergies, so spring isn't fun for me. But it was more than just the pollen. I was like, I really hate spring. Well, when I realized why I hate spring, it was kind of interesting. I don't like spring because winter is over. I love snow. I really, really love snow. And the later we get into March, the fewer chances. The East Coast is going to have measurable snow. I know the Midwest right now is getting hammered with lots and lots of snow. But I think it's over for us on the East Coast. So this colorway is called The End of Winter. Pretty bright green. I actually like the colorway. I don't like the winter is ending, but I like this green. So it will be in the shop. This is also Rustic 5 Deep Fingering. And you can go over there and end your winter too. And then the last colorway is a saying that something I used to say to my kids all the time. So I homeschooled for 7 years. And when I say I homeschooled, meaning I did the instruction for 7 years. One of my sons are still being homeschooled, but he's on online high school. So one of the things I used to say to my kids when I was homeschooling them was, you need to be a productive citizen. So I would tell them that my job as a mom was to have them grow up and be a productive citizen. So this colorway is called Productive Citizen. And I don't know, I kind of went on a green tear this time. Like green, I couldn't, like every time I picked up a color to dye, I was like, well, I keep picking up green. So this is Productive Citizen. It is on a Haynesville fingering sock. It is going to be available tomorrow also. And you, friend, be a productive citizen. Okay, I tried. That was lame. Also in the shop tomorrow will be bags. So we sold out. Yay! And so hubby made some more. This one, purple one will be available. This darker green will be available. They're also going to be these three, the teal, the green, and the blue. They are, if you notice, 2 different sizes. One is a little bigger than the other. So this one is for your large shawl project, and this one is for your sock project. I actually tested them. 2 skeins of yarn will go in this one. 1 skein will go into this one. So these will be available in the shop tomorrow also. So what else is going on with ATHaynesHouse yarn? It seems like so much. Seeing as though I don't quite know what state I'm in between traveling for my sister, but I have some exciting news. I am doing my first Fiber Fest. Yay! I'm a big girl now. I will be at the Frederick Fiber Festival, say that 3 times fast, in Frederick, Maryland on October 13th. I know that's a long way away, but I'm excited about it. I went to the Frederick Fiber Fest a few years ago. It's a nice little cozy. well, it was. It's probably grown by then. I hope it was, because it was a nice fiber fest. It was a nice fall fiber fest to go to. I came across some indie yarn dyers and some yarn shops that I didn't know, I wasn't familiar with. Clover Hill in Catonsville, Maryland. Hey, what's up? I found them, and I'm really excited about some of the colors that I bought a good bit of Clover Hill when I was there. So I will be there, and I will be bringing the Mister. The Mister will be there with me, and we will be bringing all of our fiber goodness and our bags and our notions, and just I'm excited. I it's a sense of surrealness because this is really happening. Like I'm, taking that step, moving beyond my comfort zone. But I'm looking forward to meeting lots and lots and lots of fun people up there. The second thing that is happening over here at Haynes House Yarns is we're going to do a knit along. So not just me and my husband though. We're inviting you to come along and do the knit along with us. We're so excited about the pattern that we picked. It is the Grifter. I think it's the Drifter. It's the Drifter. It is the Drifter by Tammy Gore. So if you recognize that name, for Black History Month, I knit up her Raven Hill shawl, and I really liked all of her patterns, and so we decided that we would do the Drifter as our first knit along. Good job, Tammy, with coming up with a pattern that both me and my husband like at the same time. So that knit along will be happening the end of March, because I got to give you time to stash dive or head over to the shop and get your yarn for it. I have taken some pictures of the ATHaynesHouse yarns that go well together that you could pair. The Drifter is a 2-color shawl, so you can do it in 3 colors. So I paired up a couple of 2-color combinations just to give you some ideas of how you can incorporate ATHaynesHouse yarns into your knit along. But I hope you can join us for it. Also, hey, you know what? While you're at it, I said this holds 2 skeins of yarn. You can use this for your Drifter. So go ahead. I'll put everything on our Ravelry page, which is ATHaynesHouse Yarns. I'm excited about that too, kind of getting everything together. Our yarns are now in Ravelry's database, and now I have a Ravelry group, so I'll start the thread and put out the announcement of when the knit along is starting, so you can join along. I'll be making one, hubby will be making one, and so we'll see how all the color combinations turn out. So what's on my needles lately? A commitment I don't know that I wanted to make. So lately I've just not been willing to commit to a 400 yard shawl. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I think Starting Point broke me. I knit a Starting Point, and it wouldn't end. It started, but it wouldn't end. So I have been leery about starting long commitments. Been doing a lot of short shawls and hats or cowls, things that I can DK in worsted ways. So I actually broke down and started a project, which is Whippoorwill. So I have to talk about my crazy yarn life. So in my crazy yarn life, I have this principle, first in, first out, and that's the way I do my yarn and my pattern selection. So I worked for Burger King for 5 years, and this was something they absolutely drilled into us all the time, first in, first out. So if you got fresh lettuce, it went last, and the oldest lettuce went first, and for some reason it made sense, but it just stuck with me with lots of things. So with my yarn and my patterns, I definitely am first in, first out. Like if I buy new yarn, unless it's something specific or hubby and I are going to do a knit along, I actually will toss it in the stash and pull something old out and knit that first. So this pattern is been in my library for a while, and this yarn has been in my stash for a while, which is funny because the colors are the same as the Raven Hill. I was like, okay, so you just knit 2 things, the same exact color combinations. This is some Ella Ray yarn, and it's a shawl. It's deeper than it's wider than it is deep. So it's gonna grow wide, but I don't think it's gonna be any deeper. And I really don't think it's going to be any deeper because I'm playing a serious game of yarn chicken. Like, for real, this is all I have left. Like, I don't know. I might have to shorten it, do a few less rows, but that's it, people. So we'll see how this game of yarn chicken turns out. I think I'm gonna really enjoy that shawl. I just kind of love things that just I put them on and they stay, which is why my preference is to knit shawls. And what am I wearing? So if you've been looking at my nice little sweater, this is Dirty Martini by Ella Torrente. There are a couple of Dirty Martini sweater patterns. This one's by Ella. I knit this a few years ago. It's a little big. It was supposed to be like just a kick around the house sweater. And it just seemed to take forever because I kept running out of yarn. So what do we know? What do we learn, children? Swatch and buy all the yarn all at once. So there was somebody who had it in their stash in Ravelry. I bought that from them. Then I ran out again, and then another person had it, and I bought it from them. So I was prepared to be unhappy about this sweater because it took so long to finish. And then, you know, if you knit a sweater, you've got long arms like me, like that's gonna take forever. So I was prepared to be unhappy, but I love it. I love it. It's just like a really nice, just throw it on sweater. Don't worry about it. I have enough yarn and some other yarns to make. I actually have enough to make another sweater. I will probably shorten the sleeves because I don't need that kind of commitment. But I love this sweater. So it's a bit of a swing sweater. So go ahead and check it out. If you want to make one, if you've made one, you can share a picture of yours on our finished object thread on Ravelry. I would love to see it. So that's all I have for today. I am so glad you stopped by, and make sure you hit the subscribe button so you know when I come back. Happy knitting. I hope all goes well, and enjoy your winter or your end of winter. Bye. Lord God, Jesus. I thank you, Lord.